There are a few simple steps you can take during hurricane season to make sure your life is a lot easier in case a storm does move in. Making sure your paperwork is safe is of utmost importance. Alan Sandersen is with Sandersen, Knox & Company and joins us this morning to tell us what we need to have on hand in a protected place. That's the key in case we do have another hurricane in this area.
It's kind of like being a Boy Scout. You be prepared, man. And you want to be prepared in advance for a hurricane just like you would for anything else. And there's a lot of papers that we think about that certainly we don't want to lose in a hurricane, family heirlooms, photos, that sort of thing. But things like your military records, a lot of those were destroyed in a warehouse fire. If you don't have your records, you may not have any records. So those things are important. Things like your deeds, wills, all these sorts of things. Your directions to physicians should something happen to you.
And I know as a mom, you certainly need to think about those immunization records too, because sometimes it can be hard to get this from your doctor, marriage certificates, all those important things.
Any sort of medical record that's going to be of importance to a doctor in a time of crisis, when you may be in a hospital somewhere and you may not want to know what your medical situation was, that's important.
So we think about, once we figure out exactly what documents we want to keep out, where do we keep those? Do we keep them in a safe or somewhere, something that's a lot more portable that we can just head out quickly with?
Well, if nothing else, if you don't have the situation where you have in a safe deposit box where you can have them stored online, for sure put them in Ziploc bags. Just like if you're going camping or on a cruise or whatever the case may be, put them in places where they have the least possibility of the water getting to them and ruining them. Even if that means tossing them in the attic in a plastic bag, get them someplace where they can be safe.
Okay, worst case scenario, we don't do this and we lose those documents, whether it's flooding or whatever it is from. How do we get all those documents back? It takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
It takes a lot of work. A lot of the things are public record, and you can find them at your county clerk's office after the recovery has gone a ways, because their system's going to be down too. But the best move on these things is to keep track of things in advance. There's actually, if you go to FEMA's site, ready.gov, they've got some good guidelines for you to do those kinds of things.
It sounds like in this situation, it's a lot easier to do it now than having to backtrack and go back and get all those documents back.
When you're running around trying to grab the kids up in a bottle of formula, you're not thinking about certain things. You're thinking about taking care of your children. But those other things are going to help you survive after the storm as well.
And it's something that it just seems like it's human nature for us to procrastinate on these things. I mean, we always think there's tomorrow, but it doesn't just have to be a hurricane. Our house could catch on fire. I mean, there's so many other things that can happen, and that's why they're called, accidents or whatever, because it's something that you never expect to happen.
Well, that's right. You have 2 or 3 lines of defense, just like anything else. You can have things in your safe deposit box at the bank. Of course, the bank can get flooded too. Have things in your house, have copies. There's services actually online where you can store those kinds of things in a secure site. So have lots of lines of defense and you'll be okay.
All right. I think it's so good to be organized, and we may as well just get that job done. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, Alan.
Pleasure's mine.